Hi, everyone. Hey there. Welcome to my kitchen. So we're going to do a video for you today. So they always say, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Well, we're going to be making apple pie. I am Kimberly Knox. I'm a very passionate integrative health coach. Also the creator of the bioenergetic cooking method, which is just simply cooking for a lifetime of vitality, author of Simple Cooking for Vitality. So this is what we all want. We all want energy, and healthy food is really just about satisfying your cells, not creating inflammation in the body, and providing dense nutrients. So today we're going to be exploring a better apple pie. I made many of apple pies growing up, especially growing up in Vermont, where the apples in the orchard would be ready in the fall. And we all think of fall as, you know, pumpkin pie, apple, that type of season. But we just had the 4th of July. I had a fabulous time doing old-fashioned American things. And what's more American than apple pie? But the standard American diet has a lot of issues and it's causing the most majority of the chronic illness that we have. So simply shifting, and I used to use a Pillsbury, box crust, but we're using inflammatory flours, inflammatory shortenings, and we're just going to switch that up. So just like my $1 million chocolate chip cookie, which was the last video I did, you can find that in my book here. We are going to be exploring cutting down carb conversion and inflammation and getting rid of gluten, utilizing super fine almond flour, binding it a little bit more with arrowroot, and we're going to be doing the same here. I also have recrafted my snickerdoodle cookie recipe, which I loved as a kid. So apple pie. So what are we doing? You're going to see it first here because I'm recrafting this whole thing first time right here. We're just using almond flour, arrowroot. I just keep them stored here. I use Bob's Red Mill. We are going to be using an organic butter, and I have not made crust with coconut oil yet. I do like using the cold butter, and just a really great Himalayan pink sea salt. We're going to be using flax and water instead of an egg. We're going to try that out. And psyllium husk instead of using xanthan gum. I don't like gums and other things like that, fillers, and some apple cider vinegar. Now, to make your life easy, you don't really need much, but I do love a nice fluted pie pan like this, and we're going to be putting strips on top in the lattice form for the pie instead of doing it the other way, and then having a nice rolling pin. This is a nice olive wood rolling pin, so you'll need one of those, a paring knife, because we're going to be cutting up apples. Now, what I do with the apples is I like mixing Granny Smith, a little bit of tart with a little bit of crisp sweet, and I've chose the organic. This is Pink Lady. I kind of like those. So we've got 5 Granny Smith and 3 of the Pink Ladies. So you will need those. And having a food processor, as I tell my clients, really helps your life be so much easier, and doing so many recipes in my book utilizes, but you'll see how easy this makes it. So let me get everything together and we'll be right back to start the whole process here. Okay, and having a cute, fun apron is always fantastic. All right, so we're going to put the dry items into the food processor and give it a nice pulse to blend them. So we're going to be using 2 cups of the almond flour here. Just pat it down. Now, almond flour can get a little bit lumpy, so it's nice to do this. I'm just using this ½ cup. So it fits in here. There we go, one more. right, next up is our arrowroot flour. And we're gonna need a full half cup of that. So with almond flour, it doesn't hold together. And I don't like using kind of artificial binders. So get yourself a good organic arrowroot. We're gonna give it a nice big quarter cup here. That is really powdery. All right, next up, we'll get the salt in there. We use a full half teaspoon of this nice pink Himalayan sea salt. Okay, and we are using psyllium husk. So a xanthan gum, there's some conversions. A half a teaspoon, I believe, of xanthan equals 1 tablespoon of psyllium husk. So I have this available too. It's a great fiber addition for your smoothies too. So here's a tablespoon. Get that in there. We'll let this sit while we're pulsing, but we are going to make a flax egg. And I use flax eggs a lot in my cookies, but flax also adds you more omega-3s and fiber. So the nutrient composition is excellent. So here, a nice heaping tablespoon to 3 tablespoons of water is the conversion. And just mix this up. It's going to get thick as it sits. And next up, we're going to pulse. Then we'll add the butter and the wet ingredients. So just put this mixed up. It's always good to have these cute little spatulas on hand for your food processor, whatever you're making. You can check and see how well things are going to mix. Just make sure everything is mixed up nice. Alrighty then. Okay, next up, I am going to get out the butter and we're going to put the rest of this together. The butter is chilling in the refrigerator. So this is the grass-fed butter. I've already got it cut into little cubes, put it back into the refrigerator. You don't necessarily have to freeze it, but it should be nice and cool. So we're going to get that in there. And so that is 1 stick of butter. That is a 1/4 cup. And let's get our flax. You can see this is getting thick. I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon of the apple cider vinegar first. And then let's get this in there. So you can use your little spatula to get this out. And the top goes on. And we're going to blend this. So I'm just going to keep going here. It's already getting kind of blended. We want it to be like good clump together here. And then we're going to put it in the bowl and kind of finish it. So we just pause this so you're not hearing this. So it's starting to form its own ball, and that's what you want. And now it's going to be ready to put into a bowl here, and we'll just finish it with our own spatula. Ta-da! That took away a lot of your own effort. These food processors are great. I love this KitchenAid one. I love how big the space is here. Let's get all this in here. And then we're going to separate this into two balls. and put it in the refrigerator for a little bit before we roll it out. So let's take a look at this, see how it's all nicely formed together, which is perfect. And now all I'm doing is just making sure that it's all mixed together well. This is going to be fantastic. And just going to get out the plastic wrap, and we're going to separate it. Okay. And this delightful green. I'm going to make 2 balls because we're going to need some for the base and some for the top. Slightly more for the base. Wrap this. I'm going to chill it. And then we will roll it out in between parchment paper and get it into the pie pan. And it's going to be so much easier to do the lattice top. And while this is chilling, we're going to be paring the apples and preparing the filling. Now, the secret with the apple filling and reducing the sugar and not using refined white sugar is using a organic coconut sugar and increasing the spices, cinnamon and nutmeg. So you have that delicious spiciness. And we are adding some extra sweeter apples too. So it's going to be divine. I'll see you back here. Okay, so in no time flat, I've got all the apples peeled except for one. Let me just show you. Very easy. You just want to make sure you have a nice sharp paring knife. You use your thumb to hold, guide, and just slide this right around. Super duper easy. See if I can get the whole thing off in one peel. Woohoo! So you can snack on these. If I only buy organic apples because apples are definitely on the dirty dozen. You don't want the extra chemicals going into the apples, and that way you can snack on the peels. So using a Santoku knife, really easy. I trim around the core. Now this would be just like I was putting them into a smoothie. So it just helps you. When I was a kid, we used to have to do them another way. You can, you know, eat around the core here, and then you can just slice these into slices. And this just makes your life easier rather than cutting the whole apple in half, taking out the core. Just cut it straight down around the core, and then you can snack on these. Put the apple flat side down and just cut it into slices. So we're going to do all that, put it in there, and then we'll mix in the sugar and the spices. So I'm going to get all this done for you. Okay, like magic, they're all sliced up, so it really doesn't take long. In the refrigerator, the crust is sitting so that all of the thickening can blend together, and you can roll it out a lot easier. So starting with organic coconut sugar. So this is what I use in baking instead of refined sugar. This has a lower glycemic load. The body recognizes the unrefined, the other ingredient stuff in here, like, you know, the minerals and things like that. So I'm just going to use actually 3/4 of a cup here. Okay. Now, whenever you add sugar to your fruit, it's going to start to get wet on its own, but we're going to add in the, I'm just going to let this sit while we're doing the crust. So Ceylon cinnamon, way more deep and just the highest quality cinnamon. I'm going to use a nice big full teaspoon here. If you want a little bit more, go ahead. And then we're using a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. So we'll get really nice mix of our spices. I'm going to put in a little bit of sea salt as well. And I'm going to squeeze a half of lemon on here. We'll just add a little bit more natural tartness. While it's sitting. Okay, so we're going to mix this around and we'll let this sit while we are rolling out the crust. Okay, it smells great. And if you want to grab one and just snack on it, go ahead. So we're going to get out the crust next with the parchment paper. All right, so the apples look delicious. You can see they're already getting a little wet as the sugar is sitting. And yes, I tried some. Delicious. Okay, you notice I keep everything nice and neat as we're going along. Put away the stuff, get reorganized for this next phase. So this is a slightly larger ball. We're going to try to get it in here. You do the best you can, and then you can just press around the rest. It's a little bit large. It's probably a little larger than I want. So we're just going to roll this out in between parchment paper. So laid out. Great. All right, here's the ball. All right. And probably put between wax paper too. So now rolling. I used to be afraid of this as a kid. So you just want to roll gently, pressing down in different directions, keeping the shape into a larger circle. That's what we're trying to go for here. So far, so good. And then we're going to be flopping it over into the pan. I hope this works out. Like I said, I'm doing it here with you first. We're going to see how this all comes out. All right, we're doing pretty well here. A nice big circle. So I'll know after making this if I have to adjust any of the ingredients or if I have to let it sit longer. But I think we'll be able to do this pretty well here. Okay, look what we got. Not bad, right? Well, give this a nice little fold over here. So we're going to flop this inside of here. That's why, you know, it's nice to do it on the parchment paper rather than, I used to do it on a floured board for another time. Right, put this in here. We're going to gently peel this off. Hopefully this works out. We don't want it too thin so that it starts to rip. That will work. All right, not bad, not bad. We're working on it. Got a little ripping going here. Well, we can always fix that. There's a piece. You guys know I was born the same day as Julia Child, and she always had fun on her show. Okay, we're gonna have to press the rest here. Let's not panic. It's all gonna taste yummy. So what I might think that I would do is I might need, for this pan, because it is a little bit larger pie, I might need to make like 1.5 recipes, just to make sure that I have enough. What you can also do is what I am going to do is I'm going to get out some of the crust that's chilled and we're going to fold it in there. Okay, so hold on a sec. So we have some extra. This is what we're going to make the lattice strips with, but let's just grab some and press it into the spots that need it. No problem. We are making a delicious, healthy crust. It's going to make your body feel great. You don't want your energy drained from inflammatory ingredients. So that's why we're doing this. And we want to be able to enjoy desserts without so much sugar and the negative effects of gluten, short-term and long-term. All right. We can press this into the corner. Now, if we have more, you can make there. So you can pinch it a little bit. So let's just leave it like this. That's fine for the first time. We're going to add in all of the apples. One nice big, these are going to cook down. If you think you got too much, you can eat some, which I might. I'll leave a few for me. Because this looks amazing. Okay, wow, look at that. So we are going to add a little bit of butter to the top, and then we're going to go ahead and roll out the others. So let me grab some butter and get this prepared. The oven is already ready. This is coming together great. We're going to see how it all pans out. Trust me, if it falls apart, it's going to taste so darn good. And like I said, for this size, this is a larger pie pan, a smaller one. What I would do is make a recipe and a half, so I have a little bit more. So the next tricky part is going to be getting this into strips. So I have in mind how we are going to do this so it comes out okay. So just the same process as before. And rolling it in between here. We don't want it too thin. We don't want it too thick. And I'm going to kind of try to do it in a rectangle since we are making strips for the lattice. And honestly, even if we get a few across it, you're going to like it. But like I said, for this size pan, I'm going to need more. Double that recipe. So I'm just kind of guiding this. See, these rolling pins are fabulous. Nice light pressure. All right, let's see what we got. All right, ta-da, right? We got that. Now we're just going to use a knife. I'm probably going to have to make more. So what we want is we just want some strips. And maybe we'll just get creative. So I'm actually going to use, this is my board scraper, which is genius and so necessary. Let's just do a design on top. You know, really, who cares? People are really going for the filling, and then we'll figure it out. All right. I'll save those. Save that one. And then we'll use the last two to weave. So we want to do over, under, over, under. You're getting the picture here. We just need more dough. It's all okay. Okay, this one under, over and under. We'll cover it. All right. And we're going to use this extra just to do some siding here. See how fun this is? Trust me, it's all going to taste delicious. So we're just putting in some extra right here. And almond flour is a little more gentle with the heat. So we have it at 350. And what I might do is cover it. So anyway, we're going to get it in there. We're going to give it a shot. And we got to double that recipe. Hey there, so it's cooking up fantastic. It smells amazing. I just whipped up a little bit of almond milk with honey, and I'm just going to kind of drizzle it over. You can also use an egg white, but I'm not using egg whites for eggs in this recipe. And then I had it topped very lightly with a little bit of foil. And now I'm going to take off the foil and just let it cook. So it smells delicious. Yum, yum. Going back in the oven. Cooking a little bit more. Okay, we'll see you back. Okay, you ready to see the pie? It smells delicious. You just cook it until the apples start to bubble. Look how yummy. So we're gonna let it cool, obviously, before we cut it. And yum, so delicious. So lower glycemic, no refined sugars, fully gluten-free, just fantastic. Okay, let's get this wrapped up because I'm dying to try this. Even if it comes out not so nice looking, it'll taste like cobbler. Almond flour, it's super high in protein. This is some lemon sorbet. It's not quite set all the way, but this is going to taste really good. You just make this with lemon juice, water, and coconut milk. So here you go. A little bit of happier and healthier twist on apple pie. It's not so hard to make one. So much easier just doing a little lattice top, having some fun, and real American apple pie. So if you want to check out some more stuff, you know, I'm on Instagram. And anyway, thanks for watching and have a delicious day.